good evening from Nigeria. If you are anywhere all over the world, but here in Nigeria is good evening. So, and we want to use this time to appreciate all our viewers at home of Singles Reality. I want to say a big thank you for always being part of this program. Today, which is the October edition of the Singles Reality, we are bringing a very, very important topic that has to do with lives and destiny, and it is tagged time wasters in career development. We've done time wasters in relationship for 2 months, and we think it is necessary for us to have a topic on career development, which is the key, because our career, our life is very important, and that's why we are here today. And you trust me, I'm not just going to bring any guest here for you. So we look around and look around and look around, and who will be that guest that will be speaking on this topic, and we eventually got one very powerful man from the Asia industry. In fact, this man has traveled around the world, but don't let me start saying it. So I'm going to be reading his bio, and I need you to go to the comment section and please let me tell him welcome. Say, in fact, you can tell him thank you for coming and welcome to Singles Reality for imparting us. Quickly, she is a woman resource professional with over 14 years experience, a fan of writing, human capital development, training, re-engineering, business structure development, speaking and movies. Mr. Richard is a certified senior professional in human resources, a certified project management professional, a Microsoft Dynamic implementation specialist, and also a Power BI trainer. He has worked with various companies as senior human resources officer, training and development manager, business development manager, acting group human resources manager, human resources advisor, deputy group HR manager, HR specialist, and currently serving as the head HR and admin for one of the indigenous exploration company. He is an excellence trainer, facilitator, productivity and personal development consultant. I hope you are seeing this. Please go in and let me tell him welcome.
Thank you.
He's also a motivational speaker and is passionate about helping people reach their highest potential and becoming their best selves.
Thank you.
So please join me as I welcome our guest today, Mr. Richard Obieche. Thank you, sir, for coming.
Thank you.
We really want to say a big thank you.
Thank you.
So before we dive into the topic, time wasters in career development, we've read your bio, but there you can still introduce yourself to us. At least let's hear from you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
I'm very grateful, Ma. I'm so glad to be on your program.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for the privilege of sharing this stage with you. And this comes to heart, especially because this is something I love doing. All right.
Yeah.
So time wasters, But before then, like you said, I should introduce myself. I would say that I am where I am today because of the choices that I made yesterday, and I mean like years ago, right? Looking at my strengths, x-raying my weaknesses, and now saying, okay, this is the path or the path I want to follow. Right. Today I head a HR department for an oil and gas company downstream, and of course we're trying to play in the upstream. And I also have a consulting firm by the side where I do consulting and recruitment training. I also do business structure, so people who want to develop their processes, put systems in place, then of course they can call on me. Right. So I have done that. This is more or less about 15 years now that we've been doing this now. I mean, starting from 2008 when we left service here, we've been aggressively chasing our dream. And that's also because of part of the things I'm going to be sharing today, which is the power of vision, the power of knowing where you're going to, you understand, having a purposeful agenda for yourself. So yes, so that's pretty much about me.
Okay,
I'm from Delta State. I'm married. I have 2 lovely children.
Wow.
And,
a boy and a girl.
A boy and a girl.
So, there's something I picked out from what he said. He said he's here today based on the choices he made. So I think joining this program, you have made the right choice. and I'm very sure that you are going to learn something that will turn your mindset all around. And he said what he's going to be discussing how to focus on your purpose. So I know that you will definitely be blessed after this section. So, sir, what will you say about the topic time wasters in career development? When we talk about time wasters in career development, what will you say about that? Let's start from time wasters, then we'll now come to career development.
Okay, excellent. So I like how you were able to break it, right?
Yes, sir.
Looking at time wasters. Okay, what of course is time?
Mm.
Time is a currency of life.
Mm.
Whatever you are, if you every time we're trading,
Mm.
we're either trading to win or we're trading to lose, right?
Yeah.
And it's important that we, at all points in time, at every point in time, we are careful about the transactions that we're making
Mm.
in life, right? So we must be particular about time.
Mm.
And in order to, all right, so I'll go back to your question.
Okay,
So
sir.
let me go back to your question. And
Okay.
the question is about X-raying between looking at time wasters and,
And
of course,
career
career development. And I want to focus, and I say that career, I mean, your time is your currency. Time is the currency of life, right? Question, and
Okay.
you mentioned I should X-ray or break down between time wasters
And career
and career
development.
development.
Yes.
Excellent. And I want to begin by saying that time is the currency of life.
Yes, sir.
That is, that if you mismanage time, you
Mm.
have mismanaged life.
Mm.
So there's a direct proportion to, let's say, I mean, considering mathematics, when you say inversely proportional and directly proportional, so you must understand that whatever happens in time happens in life.
Mm.
So if you fail to trade time, you have failed to, of course, progress in life.
Mm.
And if you don't manage your time, you're not going to manage your life. They work hand in hand. You must understand that. And identifying time wasters at every point in your life will help you manage your time, right? Because if you don't know, how do I put it now? I want to get to Delta State, Asaba, for instance. We're in Lagos right now. I want to arrive in Delta State. I need to ask myself, what will be the delays on the way?
Mm.
I'm a Christian, so I want to bring it from that perspective. And I say, the Bible says something. It said, how will a man want to build a house if he without first of all sitting down to count the cost?
Yes.
You must count the cost of every venture and ask yourself, what would delay my achievement of this objective of my life goals, right? So
Yes,
time wasters are goal wasters or goal delayers, if I may use that word. Now, career development is a systematic approach to developing that set career path. What are the things I need to do to put in or do to be able to achieve my objective? Those are the things you should be asking yourself. What are the courses I need to write? Where do I need to work? What kind of boss do I need to have?
Wow.
What kind of personality do I need to build? What kind of soft skill? Because there's hard skills and there's soft skills. You need to ask yourself those questions. Those are critical questions every individual must ask themselves, as they begin the journey of their career, or even while they're in the midst of the career, because you can actually change careers. You can, at the midst of your years, decide to switch careers, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you have agreed that, okay, this is the kind of career I want to build, and you have also identified the things that might delay you, because you cannot bring the two of them together. So what are, in the context of career, what will delay me? What will delay me? You have to identify that. Do I have the knowledge? Do I have the necessary knowledge? Have I graduated from school? Because I need to ask myself. So even if you've not gone into a particular or identified school, you need to also, I'm speaking to viewers out there, and I'm saying you need to ask yourself the fundamental questions. Fundamental means elementary. Fundamental means first questions. Fundamental means initial questions. You must understand it. These are very core things that you must know. Number one, what knowledge is required to be able to achieve my goal in my career? Do I need to go to a school, or do I need to go and enroll for a professional exam? Do I need to sit under mentorship or do an apprenticeship? You must you must answer these questions. Failure to answer these questions or have the right answers to these questions definitely will lead to all those delays that you must. Because sometimes in fact, somebody said that if you don't have a goal, everywhere looks like a goalpost. You must have a goal. What is your goal? My aim is, so because you can say it's okay, shoot the ball anywhere. No, it will hit anywhere, and that might look like an arrival for you. But to the capacity God has invested in you, you are just shortchanging yourself. You must understand that, right? So I want to see how I can marry that very well, and I'm looking at career development. Can I shoot? Can I go ahead?
Okay, you can go ahead, sir.
Okay.
But before then, I
Okay.
just want to bring out some points because I'm seriously learning from it. And you said two things that I'm going to be saying. You said a lot, but they are this very, very strong. The first one you said that if you don't have a goal, everywhere is going to look like a goalpost. That is, if you don't have a focus, when you see this opportunity, you jump at it. You see this one, you shoot at it because you think everywhere will just look at it. So number one thing that you said now is that you need to identify your goal so that it's not everywhere that will look like a goalpost. Then the second thing it says that you have to, the foundation of everything, of career, of time wasters, must be you identifying what exactly you want. And that's what he said that is the initial. You must ask yourself, what did I want? What is my goal? So I think that's a major thing. So please, if you are at home and you are watching this, I need you to please go online and invite your friends. Tell them that they need to join. If it's not any of your friends that has been an organization, if had any of your working class and those ones that are still looking for work or anything, please go and invite them to join us at least Singles Reality on YouTube. We're on YouTube, the Singles Reality, on Facebook too, the Singles Reality or OLUWATOSIN Facebook channel. Thank you, sir. So let's just continue with the discussion on the topic, time wasters in career development. You've established the time wasters and the cost of it. You said time is life. So when you are wasting your time, that's if you are wasting your life.
Excellent.
And you establish the career development. So let's just continue.
Okay, so
how can
marry that together, right?
Yes,
look at it in the context of career, right? And we're saying, because again, ask yourself a question, and I ask myself, what is career? Career is actually the course of one's life. So when you hear people say, I'm building my career, what they actually is, they're building their life.
Wow.
You know, they're not building for somebody, they're building their life. It's their future. It's where they want to, there's an idea, there's a destination they want to get to, right? So if you want to get to that destination, you must actually evaluate what are the things I need to do or the things that will hinder me from actually achieving the objective. Okay, so number one, I mentioned at the beginning, I said the power of vision. You know, vision is an expected future. Vision, you know, recently I got to know that vision seems to be to some extent like an idea. What is the idea of a perfect future for you? That's a vision. When you capture that idea and nurse that idea and ask yourself, how do I bring this from a place of imagination or from a place of, how do I put it now, from the atmospheric, I'm just using geology right now, to now the terrestrial, to the physical, to what is tangible, from a place of intangible to a place of tangible, from a place of, let me use the word spiritual to a place of physical. How do I transcribe? How do I push it out? Right? I have to first of all write it down. What is my vision? One of the challenges young people have, even professionals, is that they don't have an expected end. I'll build my submissions from scriptures, because I'm a Christian. I want to use that to speak to people, right?
That's perfect, sir.
Thank you so much. So the Bible said something. He said there's a part of the scriptures that was talking about. He said write the vision.
Make
He
it
said,
plain.
make it plain upon tables. He said, the vision is for an appointed time. He said, surely, surely it shall speak. Surely, when the Bible tells it will come to pass, it will come to pass. You know what God only expects of every individual is to be able to sit down and write it down, put it on paper. One of the things, and I'll share my own personal story, was while I was in school, every semester, I'm grateful to God that I had a mentor. So I had 3 mentors. I can't remember the third one, but one of them was my dad. The second was my pastor. And third was, I would say, just basically books. But of course, what came strong was Miles Monroe, the late Miles Monroe. I read a very powerful book, and it was given to me by my dad, fortunately. You know, it was the book called Maximizing Your Potential. That book, that was the first book in my life that I read from cover to cover. After I read that book has so much power, so much power, so much power. I'm emphasizing it. And it changed me. It revolutionized my life. Every semester back then. See, let me tell you guys, nobody arrives at a destination by wishes, by abracadabra. No, it doesn't happen. We are here today because somebody, you thought about this, created the concept, and you pushed yourself, even made sacrifices. You're supposed to be available for your children, you're supposed to be available for your spouse, you're supposed to be available for people, but no, you said, I want to see this come to pass. So back then, I'll sit at the beginning of the year and I'll write down what I want to have. I read industrial physics, by the way, and I want to have physics 202 A. And I don't want to just have A, because at some point I stopped having A. I want to have a very good A. There's A that is 70. I don't like that. Yeah, there's A that is 70. When they go to the board, then back then they use board. I don't know what they use now. So
now it's on system.
So you can go online and even check. Can you imagine? So back then you go to school. You have to even go to school to go and check.
Someone can check for you.
Someone can check for you. As long as they have the reg number, you just say without trace it. So back then, I'll say this, also in lighter note. My guys will say, he had 70. I say, So everybody started working towards 70. I stopped having 7. I said, I don't like having 7. I said, God, remove me from 70. Move me to 90. From 70 cycle. Move me to 90 something. So that when they see, they will say, hey. It's not so I'm not asking again what I mean, the A I had. Or if I had A. No, the question is not if I had A. The question is what was the percentage? The score, exactly. So I was very interested in that. So I will write down in my CGP. I had a very small pamphlet what I wanted, and that's very important. That's the foundation of where I am today. What I wanted in this course, in this course, in this course, in this course, and 85% of the time, I discovered that I always get what I wanted, or even not more. One of the things that challenges people face, I said, or the time wasters, is power of vision, lack of writing of vision, lack of having a picture of your future, lack of not putting pen to paper of the kind of career you want to build. That is a very fundamental exercise that every individual must have. So you wake up in the night, you sit alone, and you write down, in 3 years' time, I must have Excel skills. I must be a data analyst. I must be earning a salary of 400,000. I should be working for KPMG. And then I should have done XYZ internship. You write it down. Our minds are very powerful. Our mind will capture these thoughts, these things that we've written down, consolidate it and store it. Then going forward, so life, I've come to realize that life is spiritual. Life unconsciously starts reordering events to suit that thing that you have desired, that you have written down. So I found out that each time I went to the library back then in school, this thing I'm telling you was 16, 18 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. This time I went to library, I discovered that I will see a book that was speaking to the course. So I will even see the book that the lecturer read from that he used to create his material.
Wow.
So it was very difficult to be able to fail that course. It was absolutely difficult.
Because I'm already reading from the source.
I'm reading from the source from where he got his knowledge from.
Wow.
In fact, some of them they will just quote it verbatim.
Mm.
Now let me shock you. I remember very well, and I'm sorry I'm taking time. Audience,
no, you're
please.
not. It's really impactful.
Okay, thank you. I don't know why I'm taking time to even go back to school, but this is my first time I'm even doing it in a very long while. And I'll pick a few lessons from that, my experience. I remember, back then in school, by the help of the Holy Spirit, right, I sat with God. I remember very well that Sunday, I didn't go to church that day. And I was as I was a pastor in school. I had done a lot of things throughout the week. So that day I told them I'm not coming. I had actually prepared to go to church. But God, I don't know, something, I just believe that it was God. Go to the class. There's something that you just have to go to the class. So I woke up that day dressed in my church wear, everything. I'd prepared for church, but just say go to the class. So I sat there that morning because I had an exam the following day. You see, young people, don't approach your career as if it was a joke or an abracadabra or casually. Life is not casual. Life is, permit me to use the word, life is for the tough. Life is serious business. Life is transactional. Every day you fail, you don't just fail now, you also fail in future. But every day you win, you deposit seeds for your future. These things I'm sharing with you from inspiration, from experience. It's born out of suffering, out of mistakes as well. I'm sharing with you. So that day, I sat down and I said, Holy Spirit, help me. I'm going to use that same principle that I use. But I want to pick past questions. I picked past questions, right? Because you must have that. Yeah. I picked past questions and I picked 6 years behind. And after that 6 years, I had to brood and I wrote down 8 questions by the help of divine inspiration. Yeah, I wrote down 8 questions that I want to see in the exam hall.
Wow.
I would never forget that experience in my life. This power of vision, power of, sitting down and writing what you want to see, what you want to see, what you want to. I mean, I'm a Christian, so I've already prayed. I'm getting inspiration, and I have facts around me. So because you need to have facts, you need to have people's life you can make reference to, right? Yeah. So I have you, Tosin. I have a lot of people out there. I have Benga. I have so and so person. I look at their lives. I'm comparing and I'm saying, okay, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lives, what can I pick out of them that I can use to form my life?
Yeah. This
is the principle I'm sharing with you guys. I'm not sharing with you my school life. No, I'm sharing with you the principles that still apply. It might be old, but it's still valid. So I sat down and articulated 8 questions that I'm expecting to see in the exam. I will never forget. It's 339. Physics 339. It was electronics. One of the toughest courses back then. And like I said, it was 18. Yeah. Last year we were celebrating, or early year we were celebrating 20 years of knowing each other. Me and my friends and my classmates. So we met each other in 2002. And so that was like 18 years ago that this thing happened. And I remember, and I sat down the following day, the man brought out 10 questions. 8 questions.
Was
exactly what I had written and mastered a day before.
Wow.
Was the same thing I saw in the exam hall.
That's 90 already. If not 100.
He gave me 91 because he couldn't believe that I would. He couldn't believe that
it's not possible.
And yeah, of course. So I was so good with him. He noticed that I was doing something. So when we were about leaving school, the man called me and said, your mate did not graduate. What do you do? I say, sir, this person, this. I said, I had to pick three people that were very close to me. I said, you know what? Give them third class. Give them pass, so they can even go for service here, because to affect them emotionally. So I was out of mistakes as well. I'm sharing with you. So that day, I sat down and I say, Holy Spirit, help me. I'm going to use that same principle that I use, but I want to pick past questions. I pick past questions, right? Because you must have that. I picked past questions and I picked 6 years behind. And after that 6 years, I had to brood and I wrote down 8 questions by the help of divine inspiration. I wrote down 8 questions that I want to see in the exam hall.
Wow.
I will never forget that experience in my life. This power of vision, power of sitting down and writing what you want to see, what you want to see, what you want to. I mean, I'm a Christian, so I've already prayed. I'm getting inspiration, and I have facts around me. So because you need to have facts, you need to have people's life you can make reference to, right? Yeah. So I have you, Tosin. I have a lot of people out there. I have Benga. I have so and so person. I look at their lives. I'm comparing and I'm saying, okay, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lives, what can I pick out of them that I can use to form my life?
Yeah. This
is the principle I'm sharing with you guys. I'm not sharing with you my school life. No, I'm sharing with you the principles that still apply. It might be old, but it's still valid. So I sat down and articulated 8 questions that I'm expecting to see in the exam. I will never forget. It's 339. Physics 339. It was electronics. One of the toughest courses back then. And like I said, it was 18. Yeah. Last year we were celebrating, or early year we were celebrating 20 years of knowing each other. Me and my friends and my classmates. So we met each other in 2002. And so that was like 18 years ago that this thing happened. And I remember, and I sat down the following day, the man brought out 10 questions. 8 questions
was
exactly what I had written and mastered a day before.
Wow.
Was the same thing I saw in the exam hall.
That's 90 already. If not 100.
He gave me 91 because he couldn't believe that I would. He couldn't believe that
it's not possible.
And yeah, of course. So I was so good with him. He noticed that I was doing something. So when we were about leaving school, the man called me and said, your mate did not graduate. What do you do? I said, sir, this person, I said, I had to pick 3 people that were very close to me. I said, you know what, give them third class. Give them pass, so they can even go for service here, because to affect them emotionally. So I was responsible for even helping people. And of course, some of them did not know. I think only one of them later told, years later. What I'm saying is the envisioning. What I want to do in my life, where I want to get to, those are very critical things that you need to have. Right? Then the next thing again is peer pressure. That people are going into a particular career path. There was a time banking was something.
Yeah, it was loud.
It was so loud.
Everybody wants to be a banker.
I want to be a banker. I want to wear suits. I want to.
Now it's tech.
Do you understand? Everybody wants to do tech. Tech bro. No, it's tech bro. They call it. Texas. They want to wear goggles and they want to carry iPhone. What's it called? What do you call that? The laptop right now.
Laptop.
Yeah, MacBook Pro. They want to have that, right? I don't have a problem if that's your part. If that's your part, but don't be pressurized by your peers. Pressure can get you into a path. So here's the thing. By virtue of peer pressure, I wanted to pursue a career in oil and gas.
Wow.
So I had done in exploration geophysics in my master's. And I came back, trying to look for a job. I did not see a job. I slept in Mobile.
Wow.
Yeah, Mobile, Lagos. Yeah, I slept there. 8 questions.
Was
exactly what I had written and mastered a day before.
Wow.
Was the same thing I saw in the exam hall.
That's 90 already. If not 100.
He gave me 91 because he couldn't believe that I would. He couldn't
Yeah, it
believe
was
that
like if I
not,
even
it's
say maybe
not
you saw the
possible.
questions before
And
the
and yeah, of course. So I was so good with him. He noticed that I was doing something. So when we were about leaving school, the man called me and said, your mate did not graduate. What do you do? I said, sir, this person, this. I said, I had to pick 3 people that were very close to me. I said, you know what, give them third class. Give them pass. So they can even go for service here. Because to affect them emotionally. So I was responsible for even helping people. And of course, some of them did not know. I think only one of them later told, years later. You know. What I'm saying is the envisioning what I want to do in my life, where I want to get to. Those are very critical things that you need to have. Right? Then the next thing again is peer pressure. That people are going into a particular career path. There was a time banking was something.
Yeah, it was loud.
It was so loud.
Everybody wants to be a banker.
I want to be a banker. I want to wear suits. I want to.
Now it's tech.
Do you understand? Everybody wants to do tech. Tech bro. No, it's tech bro. They call it. Texas. You know, they want to wear goggles and they want to carry iPhone. What's it called? What do you call that? The laptop right now.
Laptop.
Yeah, MacBook Pro. They want to have that, right? I don't have a problem if that's your part. If that's your part, but don't be pressurized by your peers. Pressure can get you into a path. So here's the thing. By virtue of peer pressure, I wanted to pursue a career in oil and gas.
Wow.
So I had done in exploration geophysics in my master's. And I came back, trying to look for a job. I did not see a job. I slept in Mobile.
Wow.
Yeah, Mobile, Lagos. Yeah, I slept there in their gates. So I wake up very early. I'll be there by like 5:36, and I'll stay till people start coming so that I can be giving them CVs at the gates.
Yeah.
Yeah. At some point, then I should go to Eket Akwa Ibom. That's where their HR is. I went there. I was giving them CVs. So there was nothing I did not do. All because I wanted the oil and gas job. Yeah. But I met someone, and I would say I'm privileged to be standing before you guys, sitting before you guys, and saying that I want to, be that counselor, be that person that you're going to look up to, and learn from. And the person looked at my skills. So you need that session with a coach, with a guide, with a mentor, with somebody that has done it and that is very sincere. And you say, I've seen your skill set, I've seen your strengths, I've seen your weaknesses. This is the part I will suggest, because their own is to suggest, your own is to decide. So you must, I think that's a powerful one there. Yeah. Theirs is to suggest, yours is to decide. You must be able to now say, in your hands to choose. You now say, okay, I want to follow what he has said, and I want to pursue this to the latter end. Now, the guy sat me down and told me, say, Richard, I see that you're very good. Why are you worrying yourself trying to get a job in oil and gas? To do geosciences, or a geoscientist. Because then oil was oil, that was like 2010, 2011. There was money. Oil was real money then. Entry level was like 750K.
Wow.
They will flog you first with that one. Then they will send you overseas, So I'd done Mobile, I'd done the Chevron exams. Nothing came for. And time was going. But this man talked me into human resources. And he said, this is your calling. You know how to talk to people. You were able to guide me, ensure that I arrived in Nigeria safely, took me to the room, took me to my hotel, brought me to the office, because I joined a small consulting company that time. And he mentored me. Not that he mentored, he gave me the advice. Richard, I think you should try this. And like they say, the rest is history. I held on to that, not minding the peer pressure. I became so good in human resources that today I can boldly say that there's no company I cannot work in. There's no company I cannot work in. So you must be able to say, I don't want to do what others are doing. I want to do what I have been built for. I'm speaking to you guys today And most of the things I'm sharing with you are not coming from my notes that I prepared for this class or for this session. But I'm speaking to you guys today because of the experience I have had, because I'm wired for this exercise. What are you wired for? Not what your friends are wired for. What are you? You must be able to now
It's still
say,
in your hands to choose.
choose. You now say, okay, I want to follow what he has said, and I want to pursue this to the latter end. Now, the guy sat me down and told me, say, Richard, I see that you're very good. Why are you worrying yourself trying to get a job in oil and gas? To do geosciences, or a geoscientist. Because then there was oil, that was like 2010, 2011. There was money. Oil was real money then. Entry level was like 750K.
Wow.
They will flog you first with that one. Then they will send you overseas. So I'd done Mobile, I'd done Chevron exams. I had nothing came for. And time was going. But this man talked me into human resources. And he said, this is your calling. You know how to talk to people. You were able to guide me, ensure that I arrived in Nigeria safely, took me to the room, took me to my hotel, brought me to the office, because I joined a small consulting company that time. And he mentored me. Not that he mentored, he gave me the advice. Richard, I think you should try this. And like they say, the rest is history. I held on to that, not minding the peer pressure. I became so good in human resources that today I can boldly say that there's no company I cannot work in. There's no company I cannot work in. So you must be able to say, I don't want to do what others are doing. I want to do what I have been built for. I'm speaking to you guys today, and most of the things I'm sharing with you are not coming from my notes that I prepared for this class or for this session. But I'm speaking to you guys today because of the experience I have had, because I'm wired for this exercise. What are you wired for? Not what your friends are wired for. What are you built for? Not what your peers are built for. Not what your siblings are built for. Some of you might be coming from a family of lawyers. Are you actually built to be a lawyer? You could be a musician. And because I'm wired for this exercise. What are you wired for? Not what your friends are wired for. What are you built for? Not what your peers are built for. Not what your siblings are built for. Some of you might be coming from a family of lawyers. Are you actually built to be a lawyer? You could be a musician. And trust me, if you chase your dreams. You will definitely find me and you'll be successful. There is no useless dream.
Mm.
There are only useless approaches. There are only unserious approaches. So number one, time waster, which is vision. Number two is peer pressure, ability to look outside instead of looking inwards.
Inward.
That is the third one. Like I said, thinking education and talent is enough. It's a mistake. It's a foul, and I think I'm going to stop in this third one so that I can
Yeah.
allow you.
Right, yeah.
So the third one, which is education and talent. People go to school and they believe that, oh, because I have a master's, because I have a degree, and therefore I should have a job, and therefore I should be promoted. But you check them, they they come late to work, they they don't know how to they dress,
How to
they
manage
don't know how to
people.
talk to the elders. You know, you said something now.
I know how to manage people.
They don't know how to manage people. That's a very fundamental one. That's very key. They don't know how to manage people. They don't know how to handle pressure because there's work pressure, there's life pressure. There are things that are calling for your attentions every now and then,
Yeah.
right? You know, so it's not enough. Talent is not enough. Talent is an indwelling, right?
Yeah.
But it's not enough. So such thing needs to be nurtured. So you need to take yourself through the refiner's process, refining yourself. Okay, what do I need to learn? So I remember, Madam Tosin. Is it okay I call you that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can call me to say
Okay.
anything. I'm
Okay.
fine with anyone.
Okay. So I remember starting my career. There's a book I read, How to Be a Gentleman.
Wow.
So you need to expose yourself to that, you know, so that you know how to manage people. When somebody comes into your office, do you stand up? Regardless of who, whether it's the doorman or the manager or your colleague, you need to stand up. When you're about to leave a door and somebody's coming behind you, you need to know that you need to hold the door. When you are eating and you know that your food is very spicy, you need to also know that that can be, you know, can maybe offend the next person. So yeah, you can say, excuse me, hope you don't mind if I eat here. Life is not an entitlement. Life is a gift. Life is a privilege. I think that's the word. So if it's a privilege, you should carry it like that. Your career is a privilege. So some of these qualities or skill sets you need to build. So those soft skills you need to build, how to talk, how to communicate, how to write. So I'll share something with you. I remember when I was very emotional. I wish I got a job in Chevron, but I didn't. You know. So back then, a shorthand was very popular. You know, shorthand. They're using BlackBerry.
Yeah, yeah.
BlackBerry, you instead of putting I put I then V,
Yes.
you know. So it's you that will not decode. That's how I was writing my emails. So the HR that I was communicating with at Chevron replied me and said, I see your email all the time and I get so offended and irritated. Why do you like abbreviating? She didn't respond again.
Yeah, you feel so bad.
I lost I lost it. This is somebody that my aunt connected me to.
Wow.
You know. So if you don't have this can delay you. This can stop your promotion. This can stop having, because you need to understand how to relate to people. Relational skill, communication skills is very, very key. Then again, ability to understand that you have temperament. What is your temperament? So emotional intelligence is very powerful. When you're in the world of work, you need to have it. How do you react when somebody really intentionally offends you? Because people will do that. You know, they say people will try you, people will test you, people will tempt you. And excuse me, it is very, very, it will happen in the work environment. It will happen in the workplace. So those are those things that you need to have. Like I said, the vision, peer pressure, and thinking education and talent is enough. So you'll be surprised. I have first class. First class does not amount to life class. Life class is different. You can be first in class, but you're not first in life. That's why you see that those guys who didn't even pay attention in school are not even doing better.
Better than those that came out with first class and all.
because they have mastered life class. They went for social
Sometimes
gatherings.
we now add it up and say maybe because they have one big man
man.
up there.
They don't have that. They only have good interpersonal skills.
Mm.
They're able to understand that I can't offend this person. They have integrity.
Mm.
No, first class doesn't. First class has book knowledge.
Yeah.
That guy who is first in life has integrity. He knows that he must keep his word. He knows that it's not about me. Because first class might believe that, oh, it's about me. It's about what I read. It's about the fact that I sat down 14 hours. By the way, I do that, But then it's not about that. I need to know. So those are the things.
Okay, sir. See, in fact, this is so impactful. Myself, I'm really, really learning on this, and I'm very sure that viewers at home are also learning. And in fact, if you are going to be going into the question and answer section, some of the question was sent during our we start to bring out the flyer out and say people should send in some questions and we put them together. But at the same time, I want before we move to the question and answer section, I want to go and still invite people, invite your friends, invite your colleague, invite your brother, your sister that they should join this, because you don't know if you are going to be blessing life and changing somebody's destiny at this point. Because he has said a lot of things that is even touching me, as in it's hitting me directly. He said that you are first in class does not mean you are first in life. You need to know that how to manage people, which is very key. I think this month I was reading a book and it was saying, I was listening to a message, and the person said something. He said, people can connect you to get a job, people can connect you to any place in life, but it will only be your attitude and your character that you built along the line that will keep you in that job, or will keep you in that position, or we also hand over the stuff to you. Is another thing to get connected, but it's another thing to get those things that you are connected to. And the same thing is saying that our attitude, the way we manage people, the way we talk to people, the way we react to things, that is very, very important in this career development. So I think you need to just invite someone. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube. So I'm going to be giving you some questions for us to answer. I pray that the Lord will help you
Thank
to
you.
answer them. So one of the things, the number one said, how can one advance in career? You said a lot of things about managing time and also know exactly what you are built to. But now I've been in this career. Maybe I'm in a banking career and I'm not moving. I'm just there. How can I advance in career? Is it for me to let me just leave it for you to answer.
Okay. Yeah, I see. You also have the question. The answers, but let me contribute to that. So how do I advance in career? I advance in career by part of the things that we've talked about, right? There is a deliberate attempt to work on yourself. Work on yourself could be writing courses. Okay, so I began my career. Now let me share, because somebody out there might say, "Oh, Mr. Richard, courses, certifications are quite expensive." So for the first 3-5 years of my career, I didn't really have a very solid certificate, so to speak. Right? I only had few. I was not earning so much, so I could enroll for a 5,000 naira course or a 10,000 naira course. But at some point, I didn't even have, because it wasn't enough. There's salary that takes you home.
Yes, and
there's salary that stops you at the bus stop.
Even at the entrance of the company.
As you are just leaving the finish like that. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm just hearing that for the first time. Okay. So as you're just leaving it up, you're getting debit alerts and your salary is over. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry guys, but that was hilarious. Okay. I'm sorry. Hope you don't mind. Okay. So you can imagine that. So mine did not even step out of the door. Mine finished in the office.
In the office. No, it's so funny, because most of these salary earners, we really face a lot of things, especially when we have siblings. And sometimes, I don't know, they will just know the exact day that they will pay you salary, and you start seeing message.
And you know, this thing we're saying, life is spiritual too, because the atmosphere is just they'll be monitoring you. You know that we're 28, from 26, 28, but they will start watching your attitude. So they start seeing this guy has fun. Okay, so I understand that. However, I'll share one thing with you. I'll share something I did, and I believe it will help. So back then in 2014, as far back as 2014, I went to um, I went online and I sat down and I went to University of Cambridge, their website, and I typed Masters in Human Resources and International Relations. And I went and I checked the course. I wanted to see the program guide, the course, and I downloaded it. I picked that course outline and I went to Google. I did my master's without a master's degree.
Wow.
I left and I went to University of Aston. I downloaded the course outline. I did that master's without a master's. I was reading what they were teaching them there. Yeah. So how do I know? So I felt good when my cousin, she was doing her master's in Canada. You know, she came back because before I final test, final full graduation, and she brought her thesis and was like, Richie, help me. You know, they call me Richie in the house. You know, and I said, bring it. So she gave it to me. I took it home that day, and I did it for her. Finished everything. I wrote, typed a lot. Everything was just pouring from my head, and I gave it to her. She was like, "How come you are this good? How come we that went to abroad to go and study is coming to learn on that?" I said it was a decision I made. So it's you that will decide.
Yeah.
Guys, you must decide. Okay, at this point, what is best for you? What is best for you? I will speak with all humility, man. I grew to a point that I knew I would never. Two things. God helps me. I'm going to share some very, very fantastic truths and revelations that God has given to me that has helped me, and I hope it, and I pray to help people out there. Yeah. So I will share something. You know, before I even start, before I even say that, do you know that part of my advancing in my career was also soul winning? Part of my secrets, soul winning was, yeah. So I was trading my going forward in my career, you know, for soul winning. So I was trading that, you know, that was the transaction I just had. That was the revelation I just had. You know, the Bible said that they that turn men to righteousness shall shine like stars forever. That thing was powerful. You know, we're too busy right now that we fail to look at the fundamentals. But those are the real secrets. I will tell you, those were the foundations of my life. That I'm going for an interview, I'm going to preach in a bus. If I couldn't get a bus, I'm going to preach to the keke man or the bike man. I must talk to that person, and the person must say, Lord Jesus, Lord Jesus. Yeah, I got to that point. And every time I do it, I always get that job.
Wow, that's the secret.
Yes, so I discovered that. And whenever I have issues in the office, and I go and look, let me preach and get a soul, or let me pray, you know, that I would definitely break through. So winning was very key for me, right? I'm giving you a lot of things, right? Then again, being able to develop yourself personally, that helps me. So when I got to the office, so I share with you, I remember joining a company called eTransact, right, in VI. I remember very well. And I had enrolled for a course back then, you know. Then I started, that was my first time I saw 150,000 naira, and I enrolled for a course, you know. So some people might look small, but it was a lot for me. Even now, see, you don't, until it becomes a priority for you, you may never prioritize, you may not take it as a priority. Self-development must become a priority for career advancement. Self-development is the surest way. Self-develop, personal development. I've given you how I sat down and I read courses. I mean, read UK university, you know, courses. I did that, right? I picked every material I could pick so I can understand human resource. I did that, right? Then, of course, another one again is to mentorship, to teach people. Whatever you teach someone, you consolidate that thing. It sticks. Yeah. So find out a process in your office, go and learn it, and find somebody to impact that knowledge. You master it. One of the things I'll stop there. How to manage your boss. That is another way to advance your career. Your question is, how do you advance your career?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. How do you want to advance in
How,
career?
yeah, how do you want to advance in their career? Is knowing how to manage your boss. So it is these days that we hear things like what do you call that thing again, sir? Mental health.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
mental health.
Yeah.
You know, but back then you don't say things like mental. 10 years ago,
There's not even
there was nothing like mental health.
Everybody are good.
Do you understand? You understand? So
Yeah.
you have to subject yourself to whatever that man is doing to
Doing it
you,
to you.
and find a way to manage him and get the best out of him. Those were our building blocks. So your ability to understand your boss and be able to draw from his rich, his reservoir of experience and build your own will also help you. Knowing when to speak and when not to speak. Those things are very critical. Managing your boss can push your career 10 years ahead. The best person to have on your side is your boss. So you must be careful in choosing when you're trying to advance in looking for a job. You must be careful on who is your
boss.
Who is going to be your boss?
Who's going to be your boss?
Excuse me. Very critical.
But like what you said just now, like let me start from there before I take the second question.
Yeah.
When you have a new job, you won't really know who would be the boss. Most likely is when maybe you resume the work that they will not show you, oh, this is your boss. Yeah. And the truth is, it's good to manage bosses and all that. But sometimes you have a problematic person as your boss that everything it takes it personal. Yeah. I used to someone told me of a boss that anything that happened in the house, we bring it to the office and everybody will just start getting angry, just picking up on everyone.
Yeah, picking on people.
Yes, picking on people. So that, how can you manage such person? Yeah. You don't anything you do is not good. Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yes, sir.
Nothing is new. You get? Yeah, and I'm speaking to anybody out there. Nothing is new under the sun. Right? So we must understand that somebody had gone through that. So go and find how to manage a problematic boss. Find how to handle.
Okay. Okay, what's something? What's something? Are you fine?
No, I just give so many answers and I don't announce them. Okay, so take the question again.
Okay, sir. The next question will be what to do to come out of a time-wasting organization or job. Maybe someone has been in an organization and maybe the pay, let me say someone is earning like 40K for the five years in one organization, no increment, nothing, and you're thinking, I'm just wasting my time here. Maybe when he joined the organization, he's still single. Now he's married with 2 kids, still 40K. So how can he come out of that? And he's not really getting any new jobs. So how can he come out from that kind of organization?
Okay, it's good that you said that. I'm going to make reference to my first point when I was sharing about time wasters, right? And I say the power of vision. The truth is, and I want to speak to you in case you are listening. Vision is progressive. Vision, it has motion in it. When you don't have vision, you have a tendency to be at one point for a very long time. So vision is very critical. Vision removes sleep from your eyes. Vision keeps you awake when others are sleeping. Vision makes you have a burning desire I want to go forward. I want to go forward. I want to go forward. Vision doesn't keep you in one spot. So if I were in your shoes, I will first of all take a retreat. Retreat is very important. Retreat helps us recalibrate. Retreat helps us refire. At some point in your life, you will experience slow movements. Sorry, I'm speaking passionately, but I'm speaking from my heart. And I'm saying, you will experience slow movement. Slow movement is normal. Slow movement will come to anybody. Life will always push you backwards. Life is not for You know, life does not look at you, oh, okay, let me
I
pet
just
you. No, life is not a funfair. Life is a warfare.
mm,
Life is not a swimming competition. Life is a warfare. Life is a fighting competition. Life is karate. We must approach it like that. Your career is very, 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 very sensitive.
mm.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you approach your life like that,
Yeah.
you would see that even when you are kept in one spot for a particular period of time, you already know something within your system is telling you it is time. It is time. It is time. It is time. Because of the vision, because of the picture of the future that you have in your heart. What are those ideas that you've lost? So I'll tell you something. You know, I think I listened to singles your relationship seminar,
Yeah.
and I just sat and I was also amongst everything that you said.
Mm.
In my own words, I started asking, my wife, I said, what were the things that you had in mind before you even got married?
Wow. Mm.
I want to see how I can fulfill them.
Mm.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And it's so important that you go back. What were the things that you had in mind before you even taking that job? When you started your career?
Mm.
Are you finding fulfillment there? If you are
Yeah.
not, I think it's time to now say, okay, it's time to move on. Time to move on to bigger things. Don't be in a hurry to just jump out. You have to evaluate now.
Mm.
First of all, count the cost.
Mm.
Okay, if I leave, can I cater for my family? Can I be able to fend for myself?
Mm.
Now listen, there are careers or job opportunities that are meant to take you to your destination.
Mm.
They are not your destination.
Mm.
There are dream jobs
Mm.
and there are pass by temporary jobs.
Job.
You need to know which job exactly.
Mm.
So I'll give you an instance. So somebody wants to work for the big four, the Deloittes of this world,
Yes.
the
The
KPMG,
KPMG, the EY,
the
and
EY,
the
the Ernst and Young. You
PwC.
want to do that. The Morgan Stanley, look for the McKinsey of this world. The
Or the
Accenture.
Fugas, the First Bank.
Do you understand?
UBA.
But you have not worked for that small company, right? Because there's a place for capacity. There's a place for capacity. That 40K was capacity. So you must understand seasons. The Bible speaking about Joseph. Do you understand?
Yes,
even Jesus, he said because of the price ahead, he endured the cross.
Yeah.
Do you understand now? So there's a place where you need to. It was in interpreting the dreams of the prisoner that he was able to articulate and effectively interpret the dreams of the king. You cannot sit among princes when you're not diligent in that 40K job. Ma, there are classes, ma. Sorry, I'm speaking passionately.
Yeah, it's very fine.
Do you understand?
Yes,
so there are classes. Starting out life, I knew the kind of individuals I'm going to be with. I knew the kind of colleagues I'm going to have. This is not my end. I still know this is not my end. Where my salary is now, this is not my end. I know it's a phase for me. So I'm building capacity. Sharing with you before I started this session.
Yes,
I said that I made a goal. We're in October. I said October, I'm going to do 30 courses. We're in day 20. As I speak to you now, I have 20 online certificates that I have done in October. Already. I'm sure it might be more, but I'm just saying if it's per day, because I know there are some days I need to, that kind of thing. I stop counting. Because in fact, my colleagues, they are tired of even putting my certificates inside my file. That's because it can be as if I'm intimidating them. It's too much. So rather, I'll just save it. Maybe at the end of the month, I'll just go and put all of them in my WhatsApp status so that people will get inspired and also get motivated. What am I doing? I'm building capacity. I was speaking to my wife. I said my next job should be 2 million naira minimum net. I was telling her, and she was just looking at me. Sometimes women might just women believe, but they might just women you believe, but you might just okay, amen. Amen means I concur. Let's not have issues. Let's not talk.
Okay, so let me just bring it. You said, in fact, you've answered like two of these questions that we have. That there is no growth in terms of career, but you are learning. You already said can build capacity there. Then you move to another job where those
Yeah.
capacity you built can really help in that job.
Exactly.
So he
Exactly.
said, how can one manage or transition into another career field without wasting all the experiences? You know, like you said it during your during the in the beginning, you said that you can be doing some career, you can be in a career field for some time, and maybe
Mm.
at the middle of your this thing, just say, okay, you want to change
Yeah,
career.
man.
So this person is asking that how can you transition into another career without all those experience, the 10 years, the 14 years, it won't be a waste.
Excellent. So I'll give you an example. So if you're working somewhere, let's say for instance you are in sales and you
Yeah,
want to transition to move into accounts,
yeah,
you need to
or
start getting
Rachel.
or any other
Yes,
area. It could be in tech, right?
yes.
You know, and tech pro, you want to be a tech pro, for instance, right? Um, most I know that for young people, one of the easiest work to get or job to get these days is a sales job,
Yeah.
right? It's quite easy because you don't really need just need to
People are even
communicate
running
very well.
from this.
A lot of people are running from, however, that's the most available so far
Mm,
because companies want to push their brand. And I would say that that's one of the easiest access into organization. People don't know that.
mm,
You know, I'll tell you a secret. I'm serious. You know, me and your husband were close, and I'll tell you, one of the easiest access to get a job is through the sales. I mean, to get into an organization is through the sales route. And I'll share this in case you're here and you're a sales professional, you're a salesperson. I read a book called Becoming a Sales Superstar by Brian Tracy. That book changed my life about how to approach sales, and I became a sales champion.
mm.
You know, I was
And you are
very
not
good.
even in sales, so
You can imagine. So I learned it and it
mm,
helped me. Starting off my career, I was a
mm,
salesperson, right? So I transitioned. You know, so you can see that transitions happen at certain points from
yeah,
physics, geophysics,
yeah,
sales,
yes,
sales to, of
situation.
course, HR, I've moved. My first job in that particular consulting small company was sales, was
Wow.
business development. So I
Mm,
transitioned to HR. Now,
mm,
what did I do? It's simple. I had to now start looking at, okay, what are the things I need to learn?
and
I started
then,
asking questions, okay, HR, what do I need to know?
mm,
I'll pull them for training, I'll
mm,
pull them for recruitment, I'll sit at the interview,
mm,
just keep quiet and be listening.
mm,
I'll see, okay, how do they come up with JDs? How do they come up with assessment questions?
mm,
So if you're in a company and there are departments that you like, befriend them,
mm,
befriend them. Ask them what are the skills that they have right now,
mm,
and go and learn them.
mm,
So it's not. I did not say go and intern.
mm,
It's difficult for an experienced person to intern.
mm,
It's difficult for an experienced person to also understand that it is quite impossible for him or for her to say he doesn't want to work for salary.
mm.
You know, the people that say just pay,
Yes,
don't worry,
I don't need the
I
salary
don't need
because you
salary.
already
I
been
just want,
earning.
I want to learn. No,
Mm,
the economy, the challenges that we face right now doesn't give us that
that
leverage.
yes.
No, let's face facts. You need money.
Yeah.
So what do you need to do now is to just engage the person. Excuse me. Engage the person. Have question and answer sessions. What are the difficulties that you're facing? What are the necessary skills that you need to have to be able to excel at your job? Then go and learn. Right? Now, be willing to take a pay cut when you are switching your career
Mm,
because it will come.
yeah.
So there is a way you can take a pay cut so
Mm,
that when you have mastered that skill,
you
you can
can
now
now.
take a pay jump.
Mm,
Yeah. So imagine somebody earning 300,
now,
right?
yes.
Now came down because he wants to now
You
take
will want to
200
transition.
because he wants to transition. Now,
Mm,
when you have done 1 year and you know what you are
you are
doing,
doing.
then go and learn. You guys today, because of the experience I have had, because I'm wired for this exercise. What are you wired for?
Mm,
Not what your friends are wired
at
for.
all.
What are be willing to take a pay cut when you are switching your career because it will come. So there's a way you can take a pay cut so that when you have mastered that skill, you can now take a pay jump. Yeah. So imagine somebody earning 300.
Now,
right?
yes,
You know, now came down because he wants to now
he
take
want
200
to transition.
because he wants to transition. Now, when you have done 1 year and you know what you are doing, in 18 months' time, you can take a 500.
Yeah.
So you have moved from 200 instead of earning the same 300, you have now jumped to 500.
So you all those years you buy it off.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So there's a place for capacity. There's a place for capacity. See, I'll give an example, and I'll use my own life example, right? Let me share a very, very powerful truth. I was working in Northwest Petroleum, right?
Yeah.
And I was earning, at some point in my career, I was earning about 400K net salary at some point. I had built capacity over the, because this is not transition now, this is about salary negotiation and moving forward. And I knew that it was time to jump. Are you get what I'm saying? And I had to negotiate my way, and I started earning about what's it called? 575, 573, 5 thereabouts, right? Before I joined where I am currently. So it was very easy for me to settle in at that level. Let me not use that because that might be a perfect example, right? I would like to use let me pick for instance a woman. Yes, she was working in a bank. Okay, she was in sales, right? She has done sales for a lot, and banks, the way you lump your salary, somebody might be earning 14 million naira, you know, but it's not actually 14 million naira.
Yes.
It's gross, you know. So at that, but she was earning 700, you know. So the way they did it, she had kind of bamboozled my eye that time, you know. But finally, she came out and said, "Yeah, that is not actually what it is. At other parts, it's not. She doesn't even know because it's gross." So, but she was moving to HR. When she moved to HR, right, she took lesser. But she had done courses. She went to sign up for CIPM. So imagine somebody who had about 11 years experience, already good in banking, went to do a CIPM. Now, she's earning over $1 million naira.
Wow.
You know, she's doing so good. So she has 11 years experience in banking at her belt, under her belt. Yeah. She has this certain level of credibility that she has built now. So it's easy for any employer to believe.
Yes, that you've been in banking.
You do understand, and you've been consistent, you know. And see, let me tell you guys, when people see that you have built credibility in a particular career path over time, they can easily believe you when you switch because they know certainly that this is not a guesswork. You were not forced to join that path. Yes, you made up your mind. You channeled your eyes to one goal, which is to build a career in a different path. They know you will succeed and they will give you the job. They will give you a shot. They will allow you come for the interview. When you come for the interview, let me tell you guys, call a Richard. Call me and I will coach you how to pass that job, how to pass that job interview. When you finish the interview, call me again. I will support you to ensure that you try the first 3 months or 5 months of your career in that particular place. I'll give you the necessary support. That's what you need. You need somebody who will guide you through that process. The problem, I'm sorry, I'm going to move to the next question, but the problem a lot of individuals have is they don't have a guide. So let me even summarize all these conversations and say, get a guide. A guide who is going to help you in that transition process. I want to move from point A. I want to stop going through point A, and I want to move to point B. Let that guide be there. The guide will assist you here. When you now move here, the guide will hold your hand. You need hand holding. You can't do it on your own. There is somebody who has gone and has gotten to that mountain. When you find that person, right, hold that person and say, please, I want to get to that mountain. Take me along.
Okay, sir, because of our time, we are going to be ending up with this last question, though there are so much, but all this, I think you've really explained it in doing your plan and doing your doing the first section.
Okay.
So what to do when you are not enjoying what you are doing? You've explained it that you need to redevelop yourself then. you cannot count your cost and all that. So I'm going to take this last one, and that will be the last one for today. He said, I am frustrated with the job I am currently doing, but I don't have another job, and I don't even have any savings to keep me if I am to resign. What can I do? I think this man said, I am frustrated. I'm not even enjoying it again, but there's not another job, and I don't even have any savings.
Okay, so there's a lot
If
of,
I said I should resign,
yeah. So and she can't leave because
you
if she
can't leave.
leaves,
We
the
suffer.
truth of the
No
matter is that
savings.
is to find a way around that job.
Mm.
My question to you is, what is frustrating you? A problem shared is half solved. If you can identify the real cause of your frustration,
Sometimes, sorry sir, sorry for
yeah,
cutting
no
you.
problem.
Sometimes, a lot of things can frustrate someone,
I'm listening.
because I've also
Example.
been in such scenario before.
Give an
It
example.
can be that you are looking at, oh, people that we started this job together, they've
Okay.
left and they are really really doing well,
Close your
better
eyes to
than
them. One.
better than I am now. Secondly, you are thinking that, oh, okay, your qualification is not suitable for this job, but you are just take it and think, okay, maybe after you'll be promoted and all those things are not coming to. That's one. Second, the last one, maybe the economic challenge. You are thinking that even this morning, like what we said the other time, it's not even taking you out of that or your office, talking
Yeah.
of taking you
So-
home. There are a lot of things that can frustrate you. Then we should not add to the pressure of the job, maybe the pressure of the supervisors and all those things.
Okay, excellent. Now those are signals. So that a thermostat switches an AC from cool to
Fun.
fan doesn't mean that the AC is bad. No. It does not mean that the AC is bad. What it tells you is that it's changing condition. That this is too cold. So it's giving you signal. There's something that's going on. So that restlessness is a signal. Is a voice from your back, from your vision, from the deposits of experiences that you had, from the ideas and the dreams that you had, and you say, oh, it's time to transit to something else. Right? However, if you approach it with irritation, oh, I'm irritated, oh, I don't love my job, you will not appreciate it now. Never in your life, treat now for granted. Now it's all we have. We're rounding up now. Now it's all we have. And the best gift anyone can have is now. So many people don't have now, but you have now. So
you have something.
You have something. So that's appreciate the now. This thing I'm telling you is everybody complains about it. Appreciate the now. Do the best you can with all you can in the now. So I'm going to Aba, or I'm going to Abuja, right? And I know I'm in Lagos. I need to be careful. I'm sorry I'm taking, but I need to be careful not to embarrass myself, not to abuse the opportunity, but take my time. I have to get to a bus stop. I know the bus stop will take me 1 hour to get there. From the bus stop, I have to price. There's a price you have to agree with the conductor. Okay, please, I'm going to Abuja. Please, I have only 5,000 naira. I can't even, because these are real issues, real life issues.
Exactly.
The money is not enough. There's pressure from family. Everything is just annoying the person. The person just wants to give up. But if you give up, the person, there's nothing to fall back on. At this point in time, you need to be very present in the now. Present in the now means you must have very critical conversations. You must be able to keep your word. When you borrow money from somebody, tell them I'm going to pay the person back. When you tell somebody I'm going to come, show up for the person. When they say come for an interview, go for the interview and be there on time. The now requires that you are very upright. The now requires that you appreciate your job. That you are irritated on your job does not mean that you should now treat your job, with levity. I'm looking for a word, just to
casually.
No, casually. Don't approach it casually. Approach it with a sense of mission, right? Knowing that this is just for the now. It doesn't come to stay. It comes to pass. It will pass, and when it passes, definitely you're going to get something else. So you must understand that phase in your life. Let me tell you something. One thing I will never forget, and that's words. I have that as a person. Of course, my dad has said that to me before. He said to me, and I'll say this, please. He said, "Ifoma de aguago." What does that mean? In Igbo, it means, I know you don't know that, but I just want to say that, it means good things never finish. Good jobs never
Never,
finish.
yes.
So that your mates have gone ahead of you does not mean that you will not go ahead of them, or you will not have your time. The best car has not come out yet. The best car is not out yet. It's not Range Rover 2023 that is the best. No, there is still going to be better ones. More are still coming. 15 years ago, we didn't know about Vela. 15 years ago, we didn't know about S-Class. So your own is going to come. And one thing I know, for me, what encourages me is my face. What face am I in right now? And that's what I tell my wife sometimes. I say, I know that you're feeling uncomfortable, but I'm going to make you proud. I'm not going to let you. I keep telling her that. I sound it in her ears. You know, I got her a shirt because I've not bought her stuff for some time. And I got her. She was now dancing. I said, but I told you I'm going to make you proud.
Wow, that's
but I told you. So I don't have it right now. I'm going to say this because I can relate. I'm speaking to Nigerian audience and a few of foreign audience. I'm going to say this. At certain points, I didn't have money to pay my rent. Last year, in fact, when 2020, I didn't have money to pay my rent. I paid my rent in April. My last year, I paid it in April, right? But this year, I paid cash. I carried the 900K. I gave the man. The man was shocked. He was the landlord. When he said transfer, he was like, "Wait!" He had to call his wife and say, Richard has paid. Life has changed, but I did not forget my now. Every time you must understand that it will pass. It's a phase. So that's the encouragement I have every time I'm going through that phase. So you don't have a job. I mean, you have a job right now. There's nothing to fall back on. You have to stay. So now you need to learn savings culture. You need to learn that you have to have a savings. So I have a mandate in my house. I said, going forward, 30% must be used for savings. I said, I don't care what's happening. I mean, we survived when we couldn't pay our children's school fees. So why is it that now that you're looking like a little abundance that you cannot keep that? We survived when we couldn't pay. I'm just giving an example. These are real life examples. So you must understand that, right? So that you can be able to progress to the next level. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So please just let me go to this chat button and please let me tell him thank you. Thank him for coming. I know he has really, really been dishing out a lot of deep things. You cannot be here today and you won't say you did not learn anything. I've learned a lot. If you see me with my phone typing, I've really, really learned a lot. He said about when you don't know your goal, then you everywhere will look like a goalpost. He said something about developing time management. Then he said another thing that is very, very crucial that you need to hold in your left hand. There's a left hand, you don't use it to read or so do something. Is about your now. Be focused, be present in your now. Not that it's just a now, that your future will be better than your today. So we are going to be calling it a day. We are going to be rounding up this section, and I want to thank all the viewers at home. Thank you so much. And also, I want to use this opportunity to thank our guest, Mr. Richard. He's a very powerful person. Thank you so much, sir. He's saying a lot of things, sharing his life experience, and that's really what you want, because you see that he is there, so you know what you are facing. So you can't tell him, you already know. Is it that you are working with somebody, a supervisor that is that you can't even say any good thing about? He has been there, and he's telling you that yes, I've been there. Is it that your salary did not even take you out of the office? He said he has been there, but now he's fine. So I think this is just one of the best sections we've had in Singles Reality, and I'm not taking it for granted. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. So viewers at home, I'll be seeing you next month in November. But before then, we have give us a quick announcement. We did it last month that December we want to have a time to give back to the community, because a lot of things is going on in Nigeria that now a lot of people can't even eat 3 square meal. In fact, yesterday I was saying that dollar is now over 1,200. It's over 1,200, and we are thinking of giving out, sharing food items majorly in December. So if the Lord is, so we need to volunteer. If the Lord is laying you out to bless us with maybe food, maybe money, you can reach out to us. We'll be sharing our account, the Singles Reality account number. Secondly, we need volunteers, because if you have this food, we still need people to help us go out and share the food, or go out and share the clothes, or go out and share anything we want to share. So we need volunteers. If the Lord is putting in our heart to volunteer to work for us that day for free, we are not paying you, you are doing it for God, then please also reach out to us on our email on the screen right now. So see you with that. I'll say see you next month, and our topic for next month will be is courtship necessary? We need to know if courtship is necessary. So watch out. Bye. Have a good day.
Thank you so much.